can you explain to me why there's so much hype surrounding this movie?
Well, first of all, there was a lot of hype surrounding the film for a lot of different reasons. The cast is incredible. The filmmaker behind it is incredible. The character of Black Panther was introduced to us in Captain America Civil War. He was one of the highlights that was a Marvel Cinematic Universe film to come out in a long time. Chadwick Boseman, who plays Black Panther, is a phenomenal actor. The cast, I mean, every single person in this cast is amazing. Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker, Letitia Wright, Denai Guerrero from The Walking Dead, Lupita Nyong'o. It is just, it's a film unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's a standalone movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and what that means is all these films that have come out over the past many, many years now, the Iron Man, the Captain Americas, the Thors, the Avengers, they all live in the same universe. But this particular movie, while it is in that universe, completely stands alone. It doesn't rely on anything except for one little story point from Captain America Civil War. If you're not familiar with what happened, T'Challa, Black Panther's character's father, was killed in Captain America Civil War, and now he's returning home to Wakanda to become the king. And the villain in this film, Michael B. Jordan, I'm telling you right now, there have not been, comic book villains are very hard to do because a lot of them are these like CGI creations, monsters, whatever they're going to be. But, you go back to something like The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. That was a game changer only because of the layered performance. There was an emotional quality to it. Not that he wasn't sympathetic at all, but you understood what he was doing. With Michael B. Jordan here, who plays a character called Eric Killmonger, he has created a villain that you actually understand. You know why he's doing what he's doing, and you don't necessarily disagree with his thought process on why he's doing, why he wants to do what he does, except for clearly the murderous element of it. But I find it interesting that when you're watching a villain kill this many because if his villain character has scars all over his body, and every time he kills someone, he puts a scar on his body as a marking of what he's done. But that being said, you still find yourself in a weird sympathetic element of what he's doing. So it's very interesting as you're a conflicted audience member watching a superhero film where you're conflicted like that. I think it's kind of a cool thing to have a layered element to that to a movie. And I think that one of the big things, and a lot of the things that the actors have been saying on the press tour, is you rarely get a black superhero. We've seen it in Blade, we've seen it in Spawn, but here in particular, the idea that a young kid can sit in a movie theater and look up at the screen and go, that superhero looks like me, that's a whole nother realm of why this film is kind of so special at the moment.
Are there any negatives about this movie? How long is it?
I saw it 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was probably around 2 hours or so. I'm seeing it again today. The film. Listen, every film has flaws, and this film has flaws as well. I do still have things I want to say about it positively, but on the negative side about it, there's a character played by Martin Freeman who was in the Hobbit films and Love Actually. I thought that his character was. I didn't think it needed to be as big as it was in the film. When you see the movie, you'll understand what I mean. I can't really get into spoiler territory with that particular role. Some of the CGI in some of the scenes doesn't look extremely great, but it's very minor in certain scenes. And there's a storytelling repetition element that happens kind of midway through that I kind of thought could have been left out. On a positive note, though, this movie has some of the most insane action you'll see. The action sequences that take place in South Korea are some of the most intense action scenes I've ever seen. And Kendrick Lamar, so I'm a big Kendrick fan. You guys know that. I think I talked about his album on the show before, the Black Panther album. If you're a hip-hop fan, the Black Panther soundtrack is an awesome companion piece to the film. It has Ab-Soul, J-Rock, everybody's on it. Vince Staples. It is one of the best heard. It's also a very, very incredible soundtrack in the movie. When you're watching an action scene with Kendrick's song playing behind it, there's just something special about what's going on with this film, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but it is just incredible.
So it's
I'm
2
just
hours
blown
and
away.
15 minutes. I looked it up.
That's
What's your
long.
official rating?
Ugh.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, and the only reason I didn't go 5 was because I had some problems with the Martin Freeman character. But I will say this: if you're looking at the grand scheme of all the Marvel films, including the Captain Americas and the Iron Mans and films like that, I'd put this. I think there's been close to 20 of them. Right around that area, I'd put this in the top 6 for sure. Captain America, Civil War, Winter Soldier, Avengers, Iron Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Black Panther. That's kind of where this movie lives.
Top 6.
But yeah,
Top 6
you
is
gotta
pretty good.
you guys got to see it. I'm telling you, it's going to be sold out everywhere this weekend. But again, a lot of its representation, like, having a predominantly black cast, African-American cast, it is just awesome to see that on the big screen in this type of massive budget superhero environment. So I think it's more than a movie. It's kind of, it's a moment in time, historically, in my opinion. It's a big deal.